Nobody looks human anymore, and it's getting scary. Video by Janae Danielle. It's crazy because I had just was recording. I was halfway through the video, found out I didn't have no audio, unfortunately. But now we got it. We good now. Now the idea of facial reconstruction and plastic surgery is insane to me. Because how can you deal with waking up in the morning, looking in the mirror, and you don't even recognize yourself? You're a whole different human being, or you look like it. That is insane. But let's get into it. Let's see what's going on.
I got my third facelift.
Are you happy with the results?
I kind of am.
You look great.
I know I'm shallow, but I am. Take a good look at the face.
Come on!
That is not Demi Lovato. That Demi Lovato does not give me real person vibes.
Is it just me, or do other people get uncanny valley from people with a lot of plastic surgery? You don't look like a human being I see on the regular streets, and it's noticeable.
I am freaking out right now. I just saw a picture of Mandy Moore. Who is that?
If I would have went into a coma 5 years ago and woke up today, I wouldn't recognize 90% of Hollywood. What the hell is going on?
We've reached a strange point in beauty standards where the more perfect you look, the less beautiful you are. Wild take, but hear me out. Some of the most beautiful women in the world don't look like themselves anymore. They've become so snatched, so sculpted, so symmetrical, and now their faces all look perfect, but not in a good way. So let's get this straight. I'm kind of nervous about this video because the last thing I want to do is speak down on a woman's face. That's brutal. But something about the new standard face doesn't sit right anymore. Literally. And there's young girls growing up all around the world thinking that this is right. We're gonna talk about the almost pretty girl. The girl who has every feature that can make her beautiful according to beauty standards. But these features have literally cut out the warmth, the emotion, and that little bit of life that used to make someone beautiful. This video is gonna be a whole lot of tough love, so if you cannot stand the heat, the oven is gonna be on 450 degrees, so I'm sorry, you're gonna have to get out the kitchen. Welcome to the Girl Toy Fab. Now, before we spiral any deeper into this almost pretty rabbit hole, because trust me, it goes deep, I need to show y'all an app that literally pays you to do.
I cannot show this app that she's about to show. I've spoken to my lawyers countless times. They said I could not show other people's advertisements in my videos. Let's skip past this. All right, let's get into it.
Back then, beauty wasn't perfect. But that's exactly what made it perfect. Since celebrities have always been the blueprint for what beauty is supposed to look like, they're our main focus for today. And in the early 2000s to 2010s, not only could you see women with natural today, and in the early 2000s,
man, oh man.
to 2010s, not only could you see women with natural beauty, you could see faces that looked completely different from each other.
Before Instagram face, beauty used to be bold. Faces were striking and complex, and you could actually remember them. No one trying to blend in with one another, and no one looked the same. There used to be so much mystery and diversity to women. Faces were textured, asymmetrical, and expressive.
You could open magazines like InStyle, Essence, and Teen People and see girls and women like Beyonce, Mandy Moore, Keke Palmer, Amanda Bynes. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat this and make it seem like the beauty standards back in the day couldn't be toxic. Thigh gaps and cheekbones were still glorified. Let's get that settled.
Danielle, you went to the dentist, but you refused to have your gap closed. Do you really think you can have a CoverGirl contract with a gap in your mouth?
Yeah, why not?
This is all people see. It's easier to beautiful CoverGirl. It's not marketable.
Yeah, just a little bit is okay, but I don't want to completely close it.
Well, I guess she just left the gap wide open for another girl, baby.
I agree.
Heroin chic is a style popularized in the early 1990s fashion and characterized by pale skin, dark circles underneath the eyes, emaciated features, androgyny, and stringy hair, all traits associated with the abuse of or other drugs. A 1996 article in the LA Times stated that the fashion industry had a nihilistic vision of beauty that was reflective of drug addiction.
I'm just gonna say this, if the beauty standards back in the day weren't toxic, women wouldn't look like how they look, today. Moral of the story, women used to look like themselves. And I know that kind of sounds like an oxymoron because of course women look like themselves. But when we take a look at today, it makes sense why I'm saying that. Over time, natural beauty started to feel outdated, almost like it wasn't enough to just look like yourself.
Most of my life, I felt self-conscious because I didn't have as much chest as other grown-up women. So I went to the hospital and had what they call plastic surgery.
But why? What was wrong with the way you were?
I just never felt good about myself the way I was.
Yeah, her issue was she felt like she needed to fit the mold of the women surrounding her, the women that she saw, because she desired validation that she didn't have within herself. Unfortunately, the parents at a young age, at the child's young age, are supposed to instill that love to create that self-love, that self-validation. And apparently, and of course, judging by her actions, judging by her, resorting to plastic surgery to try to look like the mold, look like a woman around her, she was lacking in that. She was lacking in that self-esteem, that self-love. She looked at herself, looked at them, and sighed. She frowned when she looked at herself, then looked at them. As unfortunate as that is, and so she did what she did. It just shows the lack of self-respect, the lack of self-love, the lack of self-validation that should have been present. But hey, man, it is what it is. You just keep it pushing.
The beauty standards started to get more aggressive and it started to get more accessible in a way that made a lot of women feel like they had to have it, like they had to keep up.
Female celebrities are pretty much in an impossible position where they're required to look perfect and look youthful forever in order to have a career, but they can't look too old.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. I didn't even think about that, man. They have to. I don't know if they really have to, unless somebody breaks the curse of the beauty standard of celebrities in Hollywood. They're gonna have to do something because they're gonna get old and their looks are gonna change, and they aren't gonna look as beautiful as they used to. And that's just what happens. And it could definitely affect their career. It could affect the roles that they get. The marketing, the photo shoots and all whatnot. So damn, that's insane.
Done, or they'll be plastic and they won't look effortless, and that will damage their career because they won't be able to emote and make the facial expressions that they need for acting. I mean, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. It's no wonder that celebrities are going to seemingly any length to look young and flawless forever.
Once celebrities and influencers started showing off these upgrades, people wanted those results.
I went to Kris Jenner's last guy because the new guy is $1 million.
For a facelift?
For a facelift.
No way.
Insanity, bro. Somebody out there dropping $1 million to change their facial structure, bro. That's insanity. That's crazy, bro. The fact that you have enough money to just throw on a facelift anyway, just get out the game, bro. Just you good. You well off. You straight. Like, you got $1 million you can just throw away to extend your career that it's already plummeting, regardless. Just give it up, man. You good. You well off. You got the money. You feel me? But I guess they have to milk the cow as much as they can before the cow dries out, or however to say. I don't know how the fuck the phrase go, but something like that.
And the ladies are lining up. These psycho are calling and using code words and passwords, and you've got to know the password to get Kris Jenner's guy for $1 million.
What?
Most people have a shopping wish list. I have a surgery wish list. Or all the surgeries, treatments, etc. that I would get if money wasn't an issue.
I want this nose. I need this nose. I would pay to have this nose.
From the nose jobs.
Bro, you don't need no fucking nose job, none of that shit, bro. Like, bro, I promise you, they love themselves for real. They won't give a fuck about all that shit.
To the lip fillers, the brow lifts, and yes.
I ain't gonna lie, this would have confused me too. This would have got me. This would have fooled me. Hold on, look right here.
Nose jobs to the lip fillers, the brow lifts.
This would have fooled me, bro. I didn't even peep. Why my camera just tweaked when I did that?
Yes, Ozempic has a lot to do with this also, but we'll get to that later. The new go-to look started to become more sculpted and almost exaggerated. And as it became that, it also became more tempting because now you didn't have to be born with it. You could just buy it. So that's when we started to see this unsettling movement of women swapping out their natural beauty for something a bit more manufactured.
I got my third facelift. They yanked
God.
my face, and I said, give me a good yank.
Oh my God. You know, it's unfortunate because we still can see the wrinkles and all that. We can still tell how old you are, kind of, by looking at you. So, I mean, I don't know how she looked. She must have looked like a fossil. She must have looked like a skeleton before she did the 3 facelifts and shit. But now, I can still see the wrinkles, and it's like they're more exaggerated on the eyes, especially. Like, look when she smiles.
I go, doctor, I don't want to see you in 6 months. Give me a good, get in there and just start.
Like, bro, we can see, like, the wrinkles are crazy, man. Like, I guess, man.
Pulling, just go for yanking.
Now this is where it gets really interesting because people aren't just talking about bad surgery. They're talking about the weird, uneasy feeling they get from just looking at it. Today, there are countless women with the exact facial features we were taught to want. The sharp jawline, the high cheekbones, the big...
Bro, the sharp jawline method is not it, bro. The sharp jawline on a woman is not attractive. I don't know where they got that from. I don't know what beauty standard book they're reading that from or who's teaching them that shit. That shit is not attractive. I thought that was a masculine trait. I thought a sharp jawline was a masculine trait. But I guess when they get the cheek lift shit, what do you say, the high cheekbone lift shit, I guess they got to get the jawline to match or it would look crazy as hell. So maybe that's what it is.
Pouty lips. But instead of looking stunning, something looks off.
People's faces are really starting to
sure.
scare me.
Yeah.
Your lips don't need to look like they're trying to escape.
And I noticed Nicole Kidman having a weird mouth or something wrong with her face in Aquaman. I literally could not enjoy the movie when she was on screen because it was like something was going on. I don't know if it was like too much Botox because like her face didn't have like movement or anything, but this was terrifying.
And y'all, it's so hard to put it into words without sounding or coming off as rude, but let's be real, a lot of women nowadays, they don't look human. They don't look like a real
She look like she's starring in a horror movie, bro. All you gotta do now is throw on a little white dress, dye the hair black, and you got your horror movie female character shit, bro, whatever they call it, bro.
person. They almost look like wax figures of themselves.
Women don't really look like human beings anymore. Hundreds of thousands of perfectly beautiful, healthy women, in trying to become even more beautiful, even more perfect, are literally disfiguring their faces with filler.
Mar-a-Lago face is getting a lot of plastic surgery work done, right? Whether it's actually reconstruction or you're just getting injections here, there, and everywhere. But these people do not look like human beings anymore. It's very uncanny valley.
Take Demi Lovato, for example. She was introduced to the media as a child star, appearing in movies and TV shows like Camp Rock, Barney and Friends, and Sunny with a Chance.
Hey, I'm Demi Lovato from Camp Rock. And you're watching Disney Channel.
Oh, she was one of those young Disney actors, actresses. Well, I don't know what's up, what Disney, Nickelodeon, all these cartoon shits is doing, bro. But why do all the child actors grow up and end up just being horrible? Not even just being horrible, but just straying away from, I don't even know how to explain it, man. They just go crazy when they get older, bro.
And behind the scenes, she was struggling with something that not even a lot of adults can handle. From eating disorders to battles with addiction, Demi's journey hasn't been easy. So seeing her healthy and thriving today is amazing.
Once I relapsed, the floodgates were open. Within a couple of weeks, I called a dealer and I was like, do you have and he said no, but I have and I was like,
The 27-year-old went on to explain how she's come to be more accepting of her body.
Now when I look in the mirror,
And they're just so open about doing certain drugs. That's insane, bro. These celebrities can have drug addictions, and they can just openly admit it, or people would just know. But the common folk would get arrested for shit like that. Come on now, bro. Locked up for 20 plus years for shit like that.
start to have a negative thought. So what I say to myself is, nope, you're healthy and I accept you.
When someone's been through
I guess.
that much, it's not surprising they'd probably want to look like a completely new version of themselves. So as she's reintroduced herself to us today, people have started to talk.
That is not Demi Lovato, and I don't care what anybody says. She went through a rough patch, and I'm all about healing. But that Demi Lovato does not give me real person vibes.
Something about her new look looks unfamiliar. Her face is a bit more uplifted, cheeks are a bit more hollowed, and her lips are a lot more pouty, almost to the point where it seems
I can't barely notice it here, but I can notice it here. Unless this is a before and after, I can't really tell, but this looks more natural. This obviously, you got the lips looking like crazy, you got the eyes looking like altered and shit. Yeah.
it's like she can't even close them. There's almost an uncanny, unemotional stiffness to her face.
When I was a preteen, the beauty standard was heroin chic. It was the very, very, very frail, thin looking people. The beauty standards were just so unrealistic. And so I wanted to be that role model for myself.
There seems to be a pattern here. We see celebrities, and most of them being child stars, like Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus. Women who had a distinct, unique look to them growing up now have this sculpted, ultra snatched look, and they just look like a shell of their past self.
I keep seeing Miley Cyrus, and something about it is like really off. Like she just doesn't even look like a real person.
There was a selfie from the music video shoot, but then like when you watch the music video, she just looks so different. I don't know, it's like off.
Selena Gomez's name has been coming up a lot, and I know it's a sensitive topic because a lot of people argue that her new look is tied to her lupus diagnosis. And while she's been incredibly open about her health, she's had a kidney transplant, she takes a lot of medication, and she has weight fluctuations that comes with it.
I had arthritis. My kidneys were shutting down. I just my mentality was just to keep going.
But even with all of that in mind, people are noticing something else. Something that normally doesn't tie into health.
Why is she transforming into an elderly Chinese woman? 18 million views, 513,000 likes is crazy. People on social media have been talking about Selena Gomez's new look, saying that she does not look like the same person at all. She looks a little bit more gaunt, she looks a little bit older. It's true that she always has had a fuller face in the past, and she says that a lot of her appearance changes is due to her lupus. Meanwhile, others are totally convinced that she's just getting plastic surgery.
Her features
What is lupus,
look more
anyway?
sculpted,
I wanted them to
lifted,
explain
and
that.
tighter in ways that feel like they go beyond what lupus alone could cause. And that's where the conversation gets a little uncomfortable because no one wants to criticize how a woman is coping with her illness. But when the changes start to feel more cosmetic than medical, it opens the door for a lot of people to question what's going on. And wow, are they questioning?
Does having lupus make you Chinese? I don't think it does. I think this is a plastic surgery thing. I could be wrong. If you're a person with lupus and then, suddenly people...
This is very interesting. I would never expect him just to be in this environment to be speaking on such matters. But, shit happens.
Start referring to you as Shang Mei Hit me up. I want to know your story.
Comments like, she looks so fake, she's in her Area 51 era, Selena Gomez is hard to look at, are popping up in comment sections everywhere. And y'all, as cruel as these comments are, and extremely unnecessary, we can't deny why there's a reaction to celebrities' new faces, because it's for a reason.
So recently Jenna was in Paris for the premiere of Wednesday Season 2. Here's a before and
I ain't gonna lie to that. No, I can't even look at that, bro. I can't even look at that, bro. That was probably the most shocking, changes I ever seen in somebody. Like, how do you genuinely just throw it? You looked regular. People were glazing. Y'all ain't see the movement? Like, what film that came out? It was a recent film. Some came out, and people were glazing her on social media, going stupid. And she changed into Voldemort type shit. If y'all know Harry Potter, y'all know what I'm talking about. But
after, and she looks very different. But people are not happy with this difference, and because of it, she's receiving thousands of nasty hate comments. People saying that she looks malnourished, people are accusing her of being on snow, and overall, just saying a lot of very mean things.
Y'all remember earlier when we talked about how back in the day, beauty and being pretty wasn't perfect? Well, fast forward to today, beauty is perfect. You basically have to look perfect to be considered pretty, especially with comments like these in the comments I just read. That only adds to the pressure of having to be perfect.
For a few years, I have felt this constant pressure to be the prettiest in every space I walk into. And I think it's really...
I'm just so like, why? What is this feeling? What does the desire come from? Like, that is completely unnecessary. Like, what's the point? Like, you really don't. Like, you don't have to, like, that's why I'm so, like, disconnected, out of touch. That's why I'm so out of touch at. Like, where does this come from? Just love yourself, that's it. Just love yourself, you wouldn't care.
really hitting me today because I'm noticing that constant...
Just heal and work on your self-love, man. If it takes affirmations, if it takes meditation, anything, man, just loving yourself, gaining self-love that you lacked as a child, and gaining self-respect, gaining self-esteem, confidence is very refreshing. It feels amazing. And it'll feel like a weight is lifted off of your back. Like you don't have to bear this intense weight of societal pressures, of societal validation. And you're not desiring none of that shit. You don't care no more. Now you start making decisions based on what you want and not what you think somebody else wants.
Stress I add to myself is weighing on me mentally and physically. I feel crazy because I'm like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like I have to be the prettiest everywhere I go?
And for a lot of women, that pressure turns into procedures. If we take all the Botox, the fillers, the surgery, the Ozempic, we get a woman that looks like a prettier version of herself, but not entirely. That's because the version...
Yeah, we should just go ahead and shut that down, bro. Calling that shit prettier. Nobody has called that better looking. Nobody agrees with that Ozempic. Nobody agrees with the facial lifts and all that shit. Nobody's fucking with that. So we can just shut that down, calling it a prettier version of yourself. Nobody agrees on that. Nobody thinks of it. Nobody looks at it like that.
Was pushed too far, and instead of looking natural, she looks man-made.
When I see a celebrity like this, first I get uncanny valley unease, but also, and I feel bad about this, so just know I feel bad already. I don't find them pretty anymore, and not because their new features aren't pretty, because someone could have these features naturally and be gorgeous. There's something Frankenstein about all these celebrities having these cut and paste parts to the point where they're not even themselves anymore. Actually reminds me of The End of Death Becomes Her. They've just replaced their parts so many times and they're so botched. It's like good from far, but far from good. And beyond this making you look kind of like a wax museum version of yourself, it also takes away from whatever made you you in the first place, okay? So here's Zoe Kravitz, here's Shania Twain, Kate Beckinsale, here's Demi Moore. Wait, my favorite one's coming. Here's Lea Michele, and here's Demi Lovato again. This one's more subtle, but here's Dakota Johnson. And for the record, she used to look like this. First of all, everybody said, give me this jawline. The lips of a fish, hollowed out cheeks. Everybody has this. First of all, everybody said, give me this jawline. The lips of a fish, hollowed out cheeks. Everybody has the same eyebrows. And all of this combined with Ozempic just makes everybody look like this creepy, almost pretty pretty version of themselves, but it's just not pretty because it's missing a crucial ingredient to beauty, which I think might be authenticity.
One crucial shift in society to blame for this, and I was going to call it a hot take, but it's not a hot take. It makes a lot of sense. And that is the rise of AI beauty. I'm talking about the filters that warp what a beautiful face is supposed to look like entirely. These filters don't just smooth the skin and remove pores. They literally rebuild you.
If you don't look drop dead gorgeous with this filter, there is no hope for you.
They lift your cheekbones, they pinch your nose smaller, they make your lips bigger, and they give everyone that same symmetrical face. And the worst part is, we accepted that as beautiful. We got so used to seeing these faces so often, these warped faces, they started to look normal, and they started to become our beauty standard.
AI is about to change the way when we assess beauty, sort of like how plastic surgery did. And the very first thing...
Yeah, maybe for y'all, not... Maybe for them. I ain't gonna loop y'all into this. Maybe for them. They saying this when they say AI finna redefine how they view this shit. So they ain't changing my ideals or how I view nothing.
Thing that I thought of was this one creator. I'm gonna show you. I'm not even gonna really talk about her or her videos, just the imagery that she uses in it, and all of them are all AI generated. I don't know what her prompt is, but I imagine it's literally just like model or pretty model, and this is what it spits out. But the images that her AI spits out, they're all kind of weird. Because while there are women out there who do kind of look like this, it's interesting to think that her AI, when prompted to develop a pretty woman or a model woman, it thinks that all of them look like this. I imagine as a woman or even like a young teenage girl seeing images like that are only going to get more and more common on the internet, like that's gotta like mess with your brain and what you think that you should look like. I just don't like it.
Now I want to show y'all a real example of this. Stick with me. There's a rise of women who are using a silly filter. Filters that most people would say are ugly. But these women use these filters so much, they actually started to love how they look with them. They actually...
Man, what? It's just a little joke, bro. It's just a little filter, man. I don't seen so many like memes and shit with this filter, bro. I don't think it's that crazy, that serious, where they really thinking, okay, oh, I want to look like this filter. Like, bro.
started to see themselves as beautiful with this filter. So think about it. The more you look at a filter
Not that serious,
or a
bro.
surgically altered face, at first, it probably looks weird. But the more you look at it, the more you think it looks okay.
This distortion of reality aligns with the cultivation theory, which suggests that long-term exposure to media content shapes viewers' perception of reality, which is like, and in the context of
Maybe
beauty
when they're
standards,
young.
repeated exposure to idealized celebrity images can gradually alter our understanding of what's normal.
Maybe when they're young and unguided, maybe then that's the case. But when you're older, I don't think this really shapes. Yeah, I don't think it affects you as much.
Normal or attainable in terms of our appearances.
I feel like a lot of these women, especially the celebrities, they look more expensive than expressive. That's the best way I can word it. It's almost like once you get to a certain stature, once you have enough money, you have to have this ultra snatched, sculpted look. Because maybe if you don't, people start saying that you look old or tired or like you let yourself go.
None of these women would.
And it's such a big risk too, because there is no way for you to know how it would look before. I mean, there was no way you would be able to tell how it looked before you got it done. Like, unless they had like a filter or some shit. Before you get that plastic surgery, ain't no telling if it's gonna fuck up and look terrible. Like those two niggas that had got it. They're not niggas, but them two dudes had got it.
Be getting a call back if Clueless was being remade today, and that's because the beauty standard in Hollywood has changed so much since 1995 that arguably some of the most beautiful women in the world would not have a chance today. Her face is too expressive, her
Definitely not true.
face is too plain, and Stacey Dash, well, she would need to do what she does now, which
I think they would actually even do a lot better because of how much they would look apart from the standard. How much more authentic they look. So I think they would actually do a lot better
Just lighten up.
I think our standard of beauty is starting to shift to accept more AI filtered and uncanny looks, and a lot of women are thinking that that's beautiful. But beauty is not supposed to be predictable. You don't have to change yourself to be what you think beauty looks like, because then it'll make you look like an unnatural shell of yourself. Just be yourself. That's it. You're enough. Thank you for tuning into the Girl Talk you didn't know you needed. If you
Yeah, WVIT. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. You feel me? Let me know. I would love to hear y'all input. Do these people's faces scare y'all? Do they look so crazy? So just what's the word? I don't even know the word for it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. I'll catch y'all next video. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that good shit. Peace out, stay cool. You feel me?